What's up, guys? It's Geo, and I know you guys are looking at the title of the video and you're like, Geo, don't do some dumb acting thing like you did for your 20 subscriber announcement video. Actually, like, talk about the thing and not try to do a dumb introduction. But, you know, are you guys sitting down? That is my number one question for you. That is today's question of the video. Are you guys sitting down? Because if you are, wait, actually, like, who stands up and watches my videos? Like, also comment below if you, like, stand up and watch my videos, because I find that a little bit weird. But anyway, are you guys sitting down? Because if you're not, then you going crazy, because Mega Salamence is about to tear through your entire squad. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because Mega Salamence is coming to town. Prepareth thou Moxie, because, like, Mega Salamence is actually going to be one of the biggest threats in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire metagame. And so I'll just cover the news first, and then I'll talk about its metagame stuff. So basically, Mega Salamence looks like a croissant. That is thing number one. I'll put a dumb image up on the screen right now. Also, it gets Aerialate, which is absolutely devastating, because Salamence has always been sitting there with, like, that half-flying typing and being like, oh, I'm Salamence, I can use Power Herb Fly, and that's my best stab move. Oh man, this just gives me a bigger weakness to ice. And now it can utilize this on an essentially base, like, 150 something power move, because if we're thinking about this just for a second, so let's say you're running Return, that's 102 base power at max happiness, times 1.3, which is Aerialate, times 1.5, which is Stab, which gets, holy moly, that gets you up to a base 198 base power move. So it's essentially spamming a base 200 power move, which is one of the best, like, attacking types in the game, if we're being real here. And so this thing is going to be really good, and that's pretty much all the news we know on it. So now I get to ramble on about its metagame shenanigans. So basically, with Mega Salamence, one of the main problems with countering Mega Salamence is that you do not counter Mega Salamence. There is no such thing as a counter to Mega Salamence, because it has. So basically, here's a couple of sets it can run. There's going to be like 2 or 3 main sets. The first of which is going to be standard DD Salamence, which was like the king of the Diamond Pearl Platinum era, and is just super scary. Where basically that set went like Dragon Dance, Dragon Stab, whether it's Outrage or Dragon Claw, whichever one you like more, Earthquake, and then whatever coverage move you wanted to run. Well, now it's going to have Flying Dragon Ground coverage, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think is unresisted by anything. I'm trying to think. Hits Ferrothorn neutrally with Earthquake. The big defensive threats, none. There are none that can come in on Dragon Dance Salamence, because the main problem with I'll break it down by set, so I'll just talk about the Dragon Dance set. The main problem with this set is that, so Mega Salamence is going to get a speed boost. We can pretty much assume this, because it looks like just a giant croissant flying Mach speed through the air. So the problem with this is going to be it's already at base 100, and it will be as good as its speed is, because let's say, just for the purposes of this, they throw it up to 110, which would let it speed tie with Gengar. That also means that, let me check Terracion's base speed, because this is actually very relevant. Because if let's say you're running like a Scarf Terrakion to try to counter this thing, but you can't, because Terrakion is base 108 speed, meaning that if you come in Mega Salamence Dragon Dances, it now is an essentially Choice Scarf to base 110 Pokemon that hits you with amazing stabs, whether it be Dragon Claw or Outrage, and then Return / Frustration / Double Edge. And can also Earthquake all the Steel types, so that's scary. Also, like, that's why that set is so threatening, is because nothing comes in on it. You literally have to revenge kill it, because let's take basic Venusaur Heatran stall right now, which is relatively popular. It's kind of fading in popularity, but basically how this team goes is it's Venusaur, Heatran, Skarmory, Chansey, Quagsire, and then there's one more Pokemon which I can't remember at the moment. I will probably remember it at some point, but I cannot remember right now. But basically, what happens to this core? Okay, so Skarmory. So assuming this is the Dragon Dance set, Skarmory is the only thing that is a legitimate stop because Heatran gets Earthquaked, Venusaur gets Return/Frustrationed. Chansey is not going to appreciate an Aerialate frustration. I'm not even sure how much that does, but it's probably going to be insane amounts of damage. And then, what else did I mention? We have Quagsire. I know for a fact that Quagsire is 2-hit KO'd by Outrage, and that's not factoring in Mega Salamence's base stats, so you may be able to just spam your Flying Stab versus that and be able to 2-hit KO it, so it can't come in safely. And then the last thing you have is Skarmory. Skarmory is probably going to be the best check to the DD set because best check to the DD set because it doesn't have anything to hit it super effectively. You can run like Rocky Helmet counter Skarm in order to beat this thing, but it's going to be insane because, and here's why Mega Salamence is going to be so insane, because there's potentially one more set you can run with this thing, and it's Mixments, which would look a little something like this. You're going to have your Dragon Stab, you're going to have your Flying Stab, you're going to have Fire Blast, and you can probably throw in either Dragon Dance or Earthquake in that last slot, whatever you want to rock with, because frankly Salamence gets a pretty good attacking move, or attacking move pool, because it can spam stuff. You can throw Hydro Pump in there for the last slot if you want to go too physical, too special. You can run Outrage and Dragon Claw. You can run Aqua Tail. You can run like Heat Wave if you want to as an alternative to Fire Blast. You can run Dragon Pulse. You can run HP Electric for the sole purposes of like helping you beat Azumarill. You can run Crunch for stuff like Aegislash. You can run, I'm looking through its move pool here, and this is pretty scary. You can run, you can run Iron Tail, true. No, just kidding, don't run that. You can run Rock Slide for Talonflame, and you can run Shadow Claw. Like, there's all these, you can run Thunderfang if you want to beat Azumarill. But anyway, there's a lot of these, like, great coverage moves that Salamence has. So, but basically for this set, we're going to assume that it's Fire Blast plus, Fire Blast plus Flying Stab plus Dragon Stab plus Dragon Dance. So let's analyze what it does versus the same kind of stall archetype that we were looking at earlier. So before it was walled by Skarmory. The problem is Salamence is likely getting a special attack boost, and Skarmory is going to get nuked by a Fire Blast. So that's out the window. Then what do you do against it now? Because everything else dies just straight up to like your Flying Stab or your Dragon Stab, and like so this rips stall apart. And it's not even just a problem with like ripping stall apart. Like, what do you have on balance to switch in on this? Like, you actually don't have anything unless you just completely outplay your opponent. Then what are you gonna do? Because even like Mega Salamence may get a little bit of a buff to its defense stat because it is more of like a defensive, like it's more like a physical dragon rather than a special dragon. So if it gets a defense buff, then it's going to be able to tank Sucker Punches from Mega Mawile. So if you come in on a predicted or if you come in on Dragon Claw, you're going to get Earthquaked. Like, you're basically going to have to spam. Excuse me. You're going to have to basically spam priority on all teams in order to beat this thing, which is a little unsettling, and it's probably going to be suspect tested. It's probably going to be the first suspect test in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire era because. I don't think it'll be quick banned because you can still revenge it, but it's just kind of it's gonna be tough. Like, I may not play much OU while this thing is still in the tier. I'm either going to abuse the heck out of this thing while it's OU, or just not play OU that much, because this thing looks insanely powerful. Looks so good. But anyway, that's all that I have for today on my Mega Salamence ramblings. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to leave a like, because it really does help show support for the stuff that I'm doing here on the channel. Additionally, make sure to answer today's comment question of the day, which is, what do you guys think of Mega Salamence? Personally, I like the design because it looks like a giant croissant, and I'm that one guy who kind of likes the design. And yeah, with that, I urge you guys to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the constant content. And with that, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.